Wednesday at 85, our live show today. We've got a live feed up. Producers are working on getting us all set up. I threw in the chat room, I said, hey, I hope that everybody's not being attacked by the LAPD. Now that we know they can just burn your home down like the big bad wolf anytime they desire. In fact, this is part of the story that I didn't even really cover, but after the fact, I was thinking to myself, you realize that the LAPD told us after they incinerated that home that they weren't even sure if Christopher Dorner was in the building. Now, I want you to think about that for a minute. They didn't know if the home they just torched was holding Christopher Dorner or somebody else. Think about that for a minute. Now, the LAPD, of course, was shooting on innocent citizens in Los Angeles. They shot at the backs of a 70-plus-year-old lady and her daughter, multiple rounds, 2 bullets to the back. Didn't even check to see if it was a man. Just started lighting up these people. Pretty incredible, and it's a testament to where we are in the United States today. We've been talking about the NDAA. We've been talking about the National Defense Authorization Act for several years now. I've been warning everybody I can, and now we see it taking full effect. That's what, and this is what, habeas corpus looks like in America today. There is no trial anymore. There is no anything. If you're accused, this is like witch hunt. Back in the day, you know, they call you a witch, like, oh, that's a witch over there. Let's tie her up with a bunch of rocks, and if she floats, she's a witch, or if she sinks, she's a witch. I think it was not a good situation, but they would just say you're a witch, and they basically kill you. And that's what we have today. Number one, we have really zero evidence outside of what the mainstream media is telling us, and we all know how we don't trust the mainstream media, that Christopher Dorner's even committed these crimes. Now, I'm not saying he did or he didn't, and maybe he's a horrible, terrible person. He's been murdering people on the streets, and he deserves to die. Maybe that is very much the case. But we're just going off what the mainstream media is telling us. I also want you to think for a minute how differently the LAPD and the police department and our government officials treated the Christopher Dorner situation. And the reason they were on high alert, the reason they had armed guards protecting the families, you know, there was dozens of people that they were giving 24/7 protection to at the homes. The only reason they were doing that, the only reason there was $1 million bounty on the head of Christopher Dorner and they were unloading drones into the sky, the only reason for that is because it was affecting the LAPD. They were the targets. The police department was the target. Now, if you're the target, if it's just an average Joe on the street, you think they'd be putting $1 million on the serial killer's head? I mean, we've had serial killers out here in Phoenix. These guys go unnoticed for like 4 or 5 years before they catch him, and then they'll give them a trial. But you see, if it's the LAPD in the same position, they go up and they incinerate the guy live on national television. They won't even give this guy a chance to stand in front of a judge, a jury of his peers, seek representation. I mean, who knows? The guy could just be, quite frankly, being framed. And that's how easy it is now. In fact, if they wanted to take just anybody out, they'll post a fake manifesto on Facebook, which is very easy to do, say it's you, then spin through the mainstream media that you're a killer, and then without giving you a trial, they'll just incinerate you in your home. Think about it. What is this, Mexico? Or is this honestly TJ? Are we in Tijuana with just a bunch of gangbangers and the drug cartel, and any street corner we turn now, we might just be shot up by the Los Angeles Police Department or burned alive in our homes? Think about it. I mean, this is a testament to where we are today. So the NDAA is now in full effect, and they've been whacking so many people lately, it is honestly just terrifying. You know, we had Chris Kyle. A lot of you say, oh, you know, he was a bad person because he was out overseas, you know, in these places, he's a sniper and killing people. You know, he deserved what he got. I don't really know. I don't think I believe that. He's whacked. He's done. He's finished. You know, I talked extensively, the FPS Russia gentleman who was one of the co-founders of one of the most popular YouTube channels on the net and tied to guns and to the mass marketing and popularization of guns. And gun culture, dead, murdered, open murder investigation. We had a leading gun manufacturer get in a sudden car accident. Now, here we have Christopher Dorner. He may or may not be guilty. We don't know. He's never been to court. He's never actually had a chance to defend himself in a court of law. They just lit him on fire. So people are just getting whacked and just dying, and it's absolutely grotesque. It goes all the way back to, Andrew Breitbart. We did a breaking documentary on that. We covered that in a lot of detail. Breitbart says he's going to ruin Obama. He dies conveniently, heart attack, young guy, dead. Even though we know that they have these types of guns now that they use, CIA and the Secret Service, so they use it. They can inject you with a projectile that is so minuscule it can't be detected via a coroner's report, and then it'll stop your heart. This has been used. Look it up. I mean, this is used all the time. Dead. Then his coroner, the one that is doing the coroner's report on Andrew Breitbart, he dies as well. How much motive do we really have to look at here? How much motive do I have to show you? And I realize I'm preaching to the choir here a little bit, but it's all about taking away your rights, desensitizing the American people to the fact that you don't have any rights anymore. You do not have any civil liberties. If you're on Obama's kill list, he's going to kill you. And if the LAPD wants you dead, they're not taking you to trial. You're not going to get that chance. They're just going to incinerate you alive on the spot. Is this Nazi Germany? I think I'm almost giving it too much credit. I mean, Mexico is actually relatively, safe in some parts. I mean, this is more Hitler-style Nazi Germany fascism. Just take out the political dissidents and just put bullets in their head. Stop their heart with a CIA, projectile gun. This is honestly what we're living through today. Absolutely mind-blowing. And, of course, it is all about the guns. In fact, I'm going to get into another major story breaking today all over the news wires. Blade Runner's ominous home intruder tweet posted months before he shot girlfriend 4 times. Pistorius to spend night in police cells after being charged with model's murder. And of course, we saw him at the Olympics. It was really kind of an incredible story. He's got these blades that he runs on in the Olympic Games. It's really incredible to watch this guy, but it's all about the guns. I'm going to dig into that story in a minute. Also, we had kind of an interesting night last night. In fact, we got a couple tweets sent to us, subscribers in the comment section saying, hey, we were watching Anderson Cooper last night and AMTV was on it. So that was kind of strange / interesting. We got about 2 seconds. I think I got 1 sentence out. Pretty interesting how the mainstream media is now co-opting the alternative media because they actually have to integrate what people like me are saying because their shows are just incredibly so boring. And people are just, they're losing their viewership. I talked about it in today's video and upload how there's just this merger right now between alternative media, independent outlets, journalists like myself, thousands of other people like you tuning in. Nobody cares about the mainstream TV anymore. That's a dead paradigm. That's a dead game. And there's something interesting happening there because that paradigm, that old paradigm, was one of the most powerful structures that the power elite and those people in control and the businesses and the large corporatists that own President Barack Obama have been using to manipulate and propagandize the people for decades, if not hundreds of years. That paradigm is shifting. That paradigm is breaking. So what do you think they're going to do? They're going to co-opt it because, again, TV, that's the most powerful form of propaganda in existence today. So you're seeing the Anderson Coopers and the CNN, and we've even gotten inquiries. In fact, I missed the email. This was back in the day when we were still getting all of our systems set up, et cetera. I have, 10 email addresses. We're getting hundreds of messages a day. It was tough for me at the time to get back to everybody, and I do my best to do that. We've been contacted by Oprah Winfrey, for crying out loud. They were wanting to run pieces on Kony 2012, and our breaking video that we put out before. The guy was, showing his schlong in San Diego, and he was running around like a madman. I told you, propaganda, total lie. They're positioning this for an African invasion. This is a total CIA psyop. Put that video out. People are like, oh, yeah, right. Everything's a conspiracy, Christopher. Yeah, everything's a lie. And then just a day later, the guy loses his mind because obviously these people are pre-programmed. Obviously, these people have been brain altered, mind altered, just like all these psychotropic killers at the MK Ultra movie theaters at Aurora, Colorado, the Jared Loughner's in Tucson, Arizona, Gabriel Gifford, Sandy Hook, etc. And we find that guy out literally losing his mind. He is waving his schlong back and forth, ranting and raving about the devil. I mean, that's honestly where we are today. So here we have, and I've got our phone lines open today. I'm going to do my best to take some of your calls, although we only have about an hour, so I want to make sure we get in all the breaking news. Blade Runner's ominous home intruder tweet posted months before he shot. So the mainstream media just loves to focus on guns right now because, again, the agenda, the political agenda, is all about confiscation. It is all about the U.S. Constitution is an archaic document. Obama doesn't care about any. I mean, he pretty much just says this directly. Like, if this is, old school founding father whack job type stuff. I mean, honestly, if you even give a darn about the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, habeas corpus, your right to a fair trial, etc., you're just insane now. You're the nut job. Although at this very given point in time, we have a fragmentation of the good old United States. We have over 700,000 plus signatures and growing across all 50 states for peaceful secession. In fact, I'm getting all kinds of inquiries from docuseries producers, people working on documentaries, television series have been contacting me in droves, literally over the past few weeks, months, saying, "Hey, Christopher, what's going on? What's going on? Are people literally seceding? We're doing a special report on it." And it's like, yeah, they are. But you see, it's not just about secession in the traditional sense. It's not just about what we think, historically, North and South, fighting each other, et cetera, or, back to the 1776 American Revolution, revolt against the British so we can liberate ourselves, or even the War of 1812. In addition to physical war, which I do believe is coming, and I think we'll be at physical war in the not too distant future, we also have the secession from just the paradigm in general. The mainstream media, the way we communicate, technology, all of these different things are just changing the world that we live in. The WikiLeaks, Anonymous, the fact that you can't hide anything anymore, the fact that these politicians, they can't hide anything. As much as they try to manage their careers and try to manage, the perfect representation for themselves, they can never make a mistake, ever. If they do, it's blasted all over the media, alternative media, and their careers are ruined. I mean, you got to think about it from a politician's perspective. It's got to be very difficult to be a politician because nowadays you are forced to be transparent. Everybody knows everything about you. We can basically look up your you-know-what. So here we have another murder/accident, and at this given point in time, I'm not really sure which of the two it is. Okay, but we have an incident. This happened at Pistorius's Pretoria mansion north of Johannesburg. The dead woman is a beautiful lady, very sad, former FHM model, if I'm saying her name correctly, Reeva Steenkamp. Reeva Steenkamp. She was shot several times in the head, the chest, and the arm. Neighbors woken at 4 a.m. with screaming and shouting. Pistorius believed to have told police he thought she was an intruder. Now, the media was reporting it could have been a Valentine's Day surprise gone wrong. Oh, man, I really hope that wasn't the case. I mean, if this was just an accident, talk about the worst Valentine's Day in the history ever. So, I mean, there's not really a good outcome to this either way, whether or not it was a murder or a planned thing or not, or a Valentine's Day surprise gone wrong. Just a horrible story. I hate hearing about this. Now, the celebrated sprinter is in police custody before a court hearing tomorrow. Officers have visited his house before alleged domestic incidents. Now, this is where the story twists a little bit for me, at least initially, where I'm thinking, okay, there's been previous incidents of domestic violence. Domestic incidents is what the mainstream media is reporting it as. So that starts to weigh towards, okay, that doesn't sound too good. That's not a good track record. Is this an accident? Really tough. Kind of hard to believe at that point. I'm Christopher Green. We'll be right back. This is Greenwave Radio Live. Got the phone lines open. Got major breaking stories today. Everybody stay tuned. We'll be right back.